Today's Storehouse Storytime is brought to you by Elite Event Sitters offering convenient on-site childcare services for all adult functions. Hi friends, welcome to Storehouse Storytime, you guys. I'm Ronnie, and we're reading a story today by Joni and Friends. It's called God Made Me Unique, you guys. We're helping children to see the value in every person because, friends, every single one of you, every single one of us is important. We're unique, we're important, we're amazing, and our differences is really what makes us this way, right? So we love our differences about one another. Let's see how our friends are uniquely created. So it all started as an ordinary Sunday at church. Some children came yawning and rubbing their eyes. None of them knew there would be a surprise. Miss Garrett was cranky. Jenna had the wiggles. Miss Campbell clapped to silence their giggles. I have an announcement you'll all want to hear. Please come join our circle. Let's all gather near. Miss Campbell sat waiting as children grew quiet. Ooh, they were in anticipation for what's next. They all sat down slowly. That is, except Wyatt. He stood in the back with a small spinning toy. His mom always says he's a busy young boy. The toy helps him focus, keep hands to himself. Miss Campbell keeps extras on up high on her shelf. Thank you for giving me all your attention. Before we get started, there's news I will mention. There's a friend who is joining our class this week. Our friend's name is Bree, and like us, she's unique. Her family moved here just 2 weeks ago. She loves to eat pizza. Her dog's name is Bo. First days can be hard when all things are brand new, like the first day of school. Do you think this is true? Yeah, friends, the first day of anything can be really, really hard because you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, right? Okay, let's read how our Bree adjusts and how our friends help her adjust. I cried when I started first grade, said Jamal. They looked right at my chair and said, I couldn't play ball. Our friend Jamal is in a wheelchair. It hurts to be left out, Miss Campbell agreed. We should never exclude based on disability. We're all here this morning to talk about special needs. Have you heard of that phrase? Do you know what it means? Friends, do you guys know what special needs means? Let's learn about it. I do, called out Wyatt while waving his hand. God made me unique. It was part of his plan. Absolutely. Thanks, Wyatt, Miss Campbell said with a kind nod. You're right. We're all created uniquely by God. Bree's parents have asked that I share news with you. She has some special needs to be aware of. Just a few. Sometimes we call disabilities special needs. Some are quite clear, and some others are unseen. You have friends who use braces to help their legs walk, or friends who are deaf and use their hands to talk. Jamal uses his wheelchair to help him go fast. Hey, have you heard him beep as he buzzes past? That's our friend Jamal. Beep, beep, buzzing past in his wheelchair. Bree doesn't like some sounds or loud noises she hears, so she often wears headphones to cover her ears. Latricia's arm raised in the air rather quickly. Is there something wrong? Is our new friend Bree sick? Disabilities aren't germs that you're able to share. They are part of creation. There's no need to be scared. God made us. We read in Psalm 139, He made us unique. We're all one of a kind. God, our Creator, made us with great care. He planned every feature from our toes to our hair. And we read it in Psalm 139:13, you put me together inside my mother's body. And then in Matthew 10:30, he even counts every hair on our head. A knock on the door brought Miss Campbell to her feet. Returning, she said, "Class, here's someone to meet." Bree's mom gently removed headphones and then turned to go. Miss Campbell said, "Friends, can you please wave hello?" Here's our friend Bree, you guys. Please join in the circle. We'll continue our lesson. The Bible is where we find answers to our questions. We were talking about how God made us unique, from the tops of our head to the soles of our feet. Did you know that to balance, big toes play a part and tiny veins carry the blood to our heart? The eyes, remarked Jenna, help us to see where to walk. And if we had no tongue, we could not even talk. We can't get a drink without lifting the cup. To bite into a cookie, my hand picks it up. And here in 1 Corinthians 12:20 through 21, as it is, there are many parts, you guys, but there is only one body. The eye can't say to the hand, I don't need you. The head can't say to the feet, I don't need you. We're all one body. We all need each other. Miss Campbell was excited. Isn't it neat? All the parts work together to make the body complete. And here we have a diagram of an arrow pointing to eyes and to the mouth, to the heart and to the hand, to the knee and to the toe. I love it. So Paul teaches that churches work in the same way. Every member has value and a part to play. Jamal laughed. Even if some parts don't work right, we're still important to God and never out of sight. And so in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 22 through 23, it reads here, the parts of the body that seem to be weaker are the ones we can't do without. The parts that we think are less important, we treat with special honor. I love that verse, you guys. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 22 through 23. God gifts us all with unique talents to bring. Some like to pray and some others can sing. There are those who make coffee and pastors who preach, and there are members like me who are able to teach. My mom rocks the babies on Sunday and said, she prays for each one and then kisses their head. No service at church is too big or too small. We want everyone here in God's house. God uses us all. Our class time will quickly come to close. Do you have any questions or things you don't know? Sammy, a shy boy, then raised up his hand. My brother has special needs, so I understand. I'm so glad this lesson has helped you to see disabilities are a part of how God made us unique. Let's pray and thank God for teaching us about our worth. And a small voice said, God, we thank you. Thank you for making me feel welcome at church. Guys, do you guys have a church home? And when you go, if you do, when you go, do you feel welcomed at church? You should, and I hope that you do. In the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 5, it says, anyone who welcomes a little child like this one in my name welcomes me. Again, anyone who welcomes a little child like this one in my name welcomes me. And guys, our church, we love taking care of our big kids, like you, especially when it's your first time. We want to make you feel like you really belong with us, because you do. We love everything about you. The end. Friends, thank you for an awesome Storehouse story time. I want you to always remember, you guys, that God made you fearfully and wonderfully. He made you unique on purpose. You guys, never let your differences, the differences that you have between you and your friends, or you and another person, never let them get in the way of how you guys interact with one another. You can still be friends, you can still be best friends, or even if it's a family member, because in your weaknesses, you guys, God makes you strong. Every single part of the body is useful, even if you feel like they don't work right. It doesn't matter, you guys. He made you and created you uniquely on purpose. So you're amazing. And you guys never forget that, okay? Friends, thank you for an awesome Storehouse story time. Have a fantastic week.